Hey everybody, I'm Lonnie with Untitled Nerd Network, and I have the privilege here at Wizard World Nashville on the final day of the show to be interviewing childhood hero of mine. I know you probably hear that all the time. All through high school, watched your stuff. Brian O'Halloran from, of course, the Clerks series, done a little bit of everything. You actually had a movie called Sickness just come out.
The Sickness, yeah, it's a horror film written and directed by Brandon Knox, and it's an incredible, great film. It's really spooky. It's still in post-production right now. We just had a screening of it at a film festival, and he still is editing some other stuff into it. So look for that probably by next year. That'll be coming out. I had a film that just come out up on iTunes and Amazon called Bad Frank, which is a very, very violent mob movie with Tom Sizemore. So you can catch that one right now. A TV series called Fireball Run on Amazon Prime. They're in their 10th season. I joined the show on the 10th season, which airs this September that we're in. And as a matter of fact, I'm shooting season 11 with them the end of this month, which will be airing next year. And then we'll be working on Kevin Smith's Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which hopefully we could start filming by November for a release date probably about next summer.
I was wondering where that universe was going to go.
Yep.
I'm sure that's probably the bulk of stuff you get asked.
Yeah.
As I got to ask, I was going to save this for last.
That's okay.
Are we going to see Clerks 3 eventually?
You know, the script's been written. We've had that script in hand for about almost 3 years now, and as we were working on the logistics and the casting and stuff like that, and then the negotiations came in for contracts with a new production company that hadn't worked with us before, things kind of fell apart a bit, especially with Jeff Anderson and the company, and then it wasn't looking good for getting Jeff Anderson back on board. He was hesitant to do it to begin with, just the idea of doing it, just because he just thought, I think the Clerks world should be on its own. It's closed for some reason. And so as of right now, it's not happening. The script is still there, but a lot of what was going to be in that script will be in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. So if Jeff Anderson wants to come back on board and somehow we can do this again, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Now, I got to ask, of course, about the original Clerks movie, because this is stuff that I've never heard.
Sure.
What actually made you audition for that movie?
Because the original Clerks film?
Yes.
It was the first time I had ever auditioned for a film. It was happening at a playhouse that I had been doing stage theater, community theater out of for the past 3 years prior to that, in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And so when the film auditionings were happening, the owner of that theater, this is before the internet and cell phones, said, hey, when he saw me, he's like, hey, these guys are going to be they're going to be making this film in town. They're going to use the theater to hold auditions at. The cast members are pretty much around your age range. You should come down and audition. A month had come and gone. I was working out of another theater by that point, and he called me up on the Monday, because the auditions were Sunday and Monday night. Monday afternoon, Monday morning, going, Brian, I thought you were coming to the audition last night. I'm like, oh my God, was that last night? He goes, yeah. I'm like, is it still happening again tonight? He goes, yeah. So I came down there, did this audition. Anybody who has the 10-year anniversary edition of Clerks will see the extra DVDs have the extra footage of us doing our auditions. Auditioned, Kevin liked what I did. I went back to read for him again like a next day or two after that audition, and he liked what I did and offered me the role, and there we went from there.
So the rest is history. So that was like one of those things, you didn't know him beforehand.
No, that's a misconception. A lot of people think that everybody involved in the film were good friends of his. About maybe a third of the people he went to school with and were friends with him. The rest he found during auditions at that playhouse, or people that he saw at different acting classes around different colleges and universities in the area that we filmed.
Okay. The original ending, as they actually had Dante getting killed.
Correct.
Were you, like, when you shot that, did they shoot two different endings?
Well, I mean, no, we didn't go into it shooting two different endings. When I first read the script, just handed the script to read the whole thing, I was like, why would you want to kill this guy in the end? But Kevin made a valid point, in the sense, like, how ironic is it? The poor bastard was called in on his day off, wasn't even supposed to be there that day, and gets killed. And that's a reality that these convenience store clerks, gas station attendants, anybody who especially works late night shifts get held up. And so it was like a serious message to the film that he wanted to do. And it was, if anybody sees the DVD, you'll see the original ending. that way.
Ended on a rather down note.
Yeah, it really did end on a down note. And when we screened it one time at the New York Independent Feature Film Market, a film festival in Manhattan back in '93, it was only screened once with that original ending. It was found by Bob Hawke in that audience, who then recommended it to John Pearson, and John Pearson was a producer's rep, a person who represents directors and producers in getting their stuff distributed. And he recommended to Kevin, amongst other people in the industry, like, you really should cut that ending out because it ends on such a down note. You're going to piss off people. You're going to get people mad at you, meaning Kevin, the writer and the director, for killing off such a funny character. And also, it had been a comedy all the way up to that point, and then to end it on just that segment of seriousness was just a bad taste in the mouth. And good thing he did, because it went on to be just an incredible comedy on its own, and we were able to then carry it on to, you know, another couple of movies out of those characters, and TV show for that matter.
Yeah, I know whenever I watched it on the special features on the DVD, I was like, God, I'm so glad it just didn't fit. It just didn't seem
I didn't even like it when we did it, but as far as filming it, we filmed it as if that was the ending, and then it was just through editing that we were able to get around it. That's why at the end when he goes, "You're closed," that's where and Randall throws the sheet from the outside. That's how it ended. So
now I want to talk about you were recently roasted.
Yeah.
Tell me how that went.
So a good friend of mine, Chris Covert, who runs the comedy troupe Jersey Jokers, you can find him on jerseyjokers.com. He had been bugging me for a good year and a half, like, we should do a roast of you, So he and a couple of his comic friends, and then the guys from Comic Book Men, and then surprisingly enough, Kevin was in town at that night, this was just this last Wednesday, came in and opened up the whole night and said some really nice things about me. And he started the night, and then we had my girlfriend come up. We had Brian Johnson, Ming Chen, Mike Zabzig. And then we even had previous cast members from the original Clerks, like Scott Schiaffo, the Chewlies Gum guy. And also we had Ernie O'Donnell, the Rick Darris character, who's been in other Kevin Smith films as well. They were also part of the dais. Then I had video messages sent in by people who couldn't make it, like Michael Rooker, and Billy Zabka, and we had people like Brimstone, the wrestler, send in a video, Jackie the Joke Man Martling send in a video, and it went really, really well. It was 2.5 hours of complete hilariousness, and it's a night I'll never forget. As a matter of fact, that Wednesday night, literally once it was done, I had to go home, literally pack and be on a plane like 5 hours later to be here.
Fun.
So I've yet to see the video that we made of the whole night, which we're going to edit and put together and eventually put it out.
Good.
On
That
the
was my
web.
next question.
Yeah, so we are definitely going to put it out for other people to see. I haven't even, like I said, said the footage. When I got in on Thursday here, I still had a bit of a hangover from the night before, to be honest with you.
Now, I don't want to do this, but I've had literally a dozen requests.
Sure.
For messages and stuff. Are you even supposed to be here today?
I'm not even supposed to be here today. There you go.
Thank you. Now, I want to talk about some non-movie stuff. Do you still do theater?
I try to do at least one play a year. The last one was 2 summers ago, unfortunately, because, to be honest with you, my filming schedule, and actually I've been doing stand-up comedy more and more, that schedule and the con schedule has just been filling up a lot more than leaves me the free time in the summer that I usually would have to do a play. I'm itching to do another play sometime real soon anyway, but yeah, I enjoy doing theater. To me, it's like going to the gym for an actor. That's where you really work out your acting chops, and I love the interaction of a live audience when you're in that mode and you're in that right zone of working with a live audience. It's great. I mean, I get that fill now by doing Q&As at these cons and also doing stand-up, so that's where I get my fix.
So between stand-up acting, movies, and theater, you prefer theater more?
I do. I really enjoy taking a play and working with a cast and doing a production night after night.
Where do you do that?
What do you mean?
Where do you do theater?
Oh, I do a lot of theater in the New York, New Jersey area. That's mostly where I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we seen the end of Dante Hicks? I'm assuming, like, anything else besides that movie?
Well, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, you'll see him back again. Who knows? You know, that's what I mean. It's an open window. Who knows what will happen? I'd love to bring him back in an animated form at some point as well.
Okay. And finally, what do you do in your off time outside of acting? Are you a
I like watching TV to catch up on things. I'm a big. I like those automotive shows that are, taking cars that are wrecks and bring them back to life, that type of thing. My father was an automotive mechanic and engineer, so if he passed away when I was 15, if he didn't pass away, I probably would have went into that than probably acting. That was like my first kind of occupation I really enjoyed wanting to be a part of. So I still follow that by watching TV and doing that. I'm a big fan of playing poker with my friends, so I like playing cards. And then I'm a sports fan. I'm a New York Rangers hockey season ticket holder, so I follow them rabidly. A New York Jets fan. Today is opening weekend, as a matter of fact, so I got to see how they're doing. And I'm also a New York Mets fan, which their season was over like halfway through, so unfortunately that's the end of that. So that's pretty much that. And if I can I try to catch up on TV and movie series that I've been falling behind on a lot.
Okay, and I saw that, I believe it was the roast that benefited the Brody Fund.
Yeah, the Brody Fund, which is a charity. You can go to thebrodyfund.org. It's a charity that grants financial assistance for people who can't afford cancer treatments for their pets. So they've been working with quite a few vets in the New York, New Jersey area right now. They're hoping to expand. They've been around for about 2 years or so. It's run by a woman by the name of Sally Williams, who's been doing this for most of her last 5-7 years, helping out charities in general on her own, decided to make her own charity. And it's named after one of her pets, Brody, this cat who had nasal cancer. But unfortunately, once we were able to have this one big fundraiser, it had passed away, unfortunately. But the fund still lives on in its memory, and she does an amazing job. And when we were looking for a charity to donate to for this roast the other night, that was the first one that came to my mind.
Okay, I really wanted to cover that because animal charity is a thing very near and dear to our heart. We do a lot of stuff our channel does specifically.
Right on.
And one more thing before we wrap.
Sure.
You have played no less than 4 characters in that same universe by the name of Hicks.
That's right.
Related?
Yes, they are. It's up to you guys to figure out how they're related. But yes, they're all related.
Okay. And they all look like you?
They do. They do.
All right. Well, this has been a quick interview with Brian O'Halloran of Clerks fame. Thank you for coming on.
No, thank you so much, man.
And I'm Lonnie with Untitled Nerd Network, coming to you from Wizard World, Nashville. We're just about getting ready to wrap up in the next couple hours. It's been a great show. And again, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you.